What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome to more C4. It is time. Throw some live reactions. Game just finished a couple minutes ago as Philadelphia defeats the Arizona Cardinals 20-17. Remains the only undefeated team in the NFL. And let's jump right into it, man. It was a tough victory. I think not enough people were giving the Arizona Cardinals credit. I will say firmly, I believe Philly was the better team. Like if Arizona found a way to get a touchdown there, maybe I would give it to them. But I think this wasn't a victory that Philly was lucky to win. I think we were the better team. I think it was terrible, whatever you want to call it, mismanagement from that Cardinals final drive where, the Kyler run, which is going to be highly criticized. I don't fault him too much, man. Like, what was he going to... If he didn't give himself up, he was going to get popped. He was going to get absolutely cracked. I think that was just like he gave himself up, and unfortunately, it was like right on that line. And then you had, like the Philadelphia Eagles had this week, actually, like a backup kicker in. If that's Matt Prater, this game's probably going to overtime. But I feel like big picture from this game, if you properly and you look back and analyze quarter by quarter by quarter by quarter, who was the better team in this game? It was the Philadelphia Eagles. But Arizona, tough team. Once they get DeAndre Hopkins back, likely are going to be, they're absolutely a playoff caliber roster. So, I mean, it's a tough victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know he's going to go into the, like, Philly hasn't beat anybody. Arizona sucks. But Arizona's in an NFC that is not great this year. Arizona's in it as much as really almost any team in the NFL. Especially, there could be a team too, Arizona, if they get hot. If Kyler gets hot, like that start they had, was it last year where they went 7-0 or the year before? I can't remember. They're gonna challenge and they're gonna push all season long for at worst wild card playoff spot. But I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I probably would take the Niners, but like I'm not 100% sure the Cardinals aren't like at least as good as the Niners, and maybe they can still win that division. But breaking down some players here, Jalen Hurts from this victory, he got the dub, which is the most important stat for Jalen Hurts here today. 26 of 36, 239 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He did get sacked twice, and he should have had an interception. I think it was Jalen Thompson bobbled it. It wasn't an interception. Like, he actually bobbled it, but he shouldn't have. He should have held on to that. It was a terrible throw by Jalen Hurts. A lot of similarities to the bad interception Jalen Hurts threw against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's definitely something he needs to get corrected. But, you chip in 61 yards. He had 2 short touchdowns. They were, predictable touchdowns you need to have. I think it was an average game for Jalen Hurts, all things considered. Well, definitely one of his weaker games this season. Not going to be known as an outstanding game by Jalen Hurts by any means. I'll give him like a B. Like a soft B. We're not going to go B- territory, but he got the victory, and he did have a couple of clutch plays here or there. I think like I almost group in Jalen Hurts with the play calling offensively. I thought the play calling offensively outside of our final drive, too passive. Felt like really like we've had this Eagles play bad in the second half reputation this season. I think a lot of that is because we've been up so early in the first half. The second half we kind of coast and go with vanilla gameplay, like preseason-esque gameplay. I felt like that was the whole game plan here today. Outside of really the first drive, I thought Philly was a little too passive. I thought we weren't creative enough, especially in the passing game. I thought maybe there's one too many of those screens, predictable screens that got eaten alive by the Arizona Cardinals linebackers. But, a B for the passing offense, all things considered. Miles Sanders, 58 yards. Man, he's running hard. Miles Sanders is running hard. Not a power back by any means, but he kind of has that, like, he's trying to run through guys right now. And that's good to see because he's not fumbling the football. Kenneth Gainwell chipped in 20 yards as well. Maybe been cool. Get Trey Sermon a couple touches in there. But generally speaking, the run game is what secured this victory. That final drive where I don't know the exact, time, how long that drive was. And I don't want to click something here because then the fucking video starts playing. But I think that final drive, it was like 10, 11, 12 plus, 10 plus plays, all run plays it felt like, and just like killed the game off. We chewed as much of that clock. We put all the pressure on the Arizona Cardinals, and the pressure got to them. That right there is why Philly earned this victory. We did that final drive, which I thought was the best drive of this entire game from either team, and we put pressure on the Arizona Cardinals to do something, and they crumbled under the pressure. That's the final tagline for this game. And for that, I'm giving the run game, the offensive line, especially the offensive line battle throughout with injuries. Man, we lost pretty much our whole left-hand side. Kelsey was out for extended periods. Landon Dickerson was out for like half the game. And we had Jack Driscoll in for Jordan Mailata. That left-hand side of the offensive line was beat up. And I think combined with this rushing attack, especially that final drive, I'm giving them an A. Thought it was outstanding. For the receivers, Dallas Goedert, 8 catches, 95 yards. We had 10 catches, 87 yards for Devontae. 3 for 32 for A.J. Brown, 3 for 19 for Quez. Quez had a chance at getting the game-winning touchdown. Got his hands on it. I mean, it was a tough catch, a really tough catch for him to make. I'm not going to fault him for it, but he had a chance. His hands were on it to win the victory, and that would have been hype. That would have been absolutely hype. I thought get the ball. I thought A.J. Brown definitely deserves some more targets. Even speaking of that final play, we went to Quez Watkins. As much as I love Quez more than almost anybody in the Eagles fan base. I think I go to A.J. Brown there. I don't even say I force because he forced that to Quez. So in that situation where it's like fuck it, I got to force it. I don't know if Quez would be my option, and I feel like the play design that has to be going to A.J. Brown. That's your guy, and I think it would have been nice to see him, a little bit more active, especially someone that owns him in fantasy football. But I just felt like when they went to him, especially on that first drive, I think that's where he got all of his production was on that first drive. He was unstoppable, and I don't know why we necessarily got away from that. I mean, I'm happy that generally speaking, both those guys are eating. Both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are the kind of guys they could finish with over 1,000 yards this season. They are that damn good as a tandem. But you definitely want to see a little bit more balance, and I would like to go to A.J. Brown more. Devontae Smith did have a pretty bad drop on third down, which should have been able to continue a drive. But I give the receivers, B+. Honestly, all things considered. Dallas Goedert was very good, man. Underrated. Can we just agree now Dallas Goedert is he's top 5? He's top 5, and I'm not 100% sure he's 5, if we're breaking into that. Defensively, Johnson Gardner-Johnson got credit with 20 tackles. And honestly, I felt like he missed 6-7 more. He got his interception, which was great. He had a good TFL. I just think you're really... Oh, my food is here. I just think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got to clean up the tackling. A lot of missed tackles out there. And everyone knows he's one of my favorite players coming from Florida. And I've always liked him on the Saints. I'm so glad that he's here. And he had it production-wise. If we're looking at Dallas Cowboy fans, look at Trayvon Diggs. Production-wise, it's there. He had an outstanding... But he's not getting the game. There was a lot of missed tackles on the field there today. Slay was solid. T.J. Edwards, Kaiser White, the line. I felt like Arizona really was picking on the linebackers here today. And they had a lot of success across the middle of the field. Their run game had a lot of success. Josiah Scott, I thought, actually played a solid game for sure. James Bradbury had a solid game. Josh Sweat had a ridiculous play where he pretty much chased down Rondale Moore, which is outstanding. You had Hassan Reddick get his sack. I think consistency is going to be the key with Hassan Reddick, but he's been very hot. It's very good that Philly has a hot pass rusher right now. Feels like every week he can get you a couple sacks. Overall for the defense, though, I thought, especially that last drive to let Arizona attempt the field goal. I thought the defense was a little soft. I thought the play calling, both on offense and defense, was arguably the worst we've seen for Philly. Maybe not the defense. The defense against the Lions was really bad, but this might be our second worst defensive performance. It just feels like from the play calling. I was a little bit surprised with how everything kind of played out there. Pass rush really was quiet outside of a couple highlight reel plays. For the most part, the consistency wasn't really there with the pass rush. We didn't put Kyler Murray under a lot of pressure. There was a lot of broken plays where Kyler Murray got on the... I'm giving the defense C+. Felt like they did get some stops here or there, but ultimately was not one of their stronger games this year. But as it stands, man, game ball for me. Game ball. That's a tough one. I honestly feel game ball, I'm probably going to give it to Dallas Goedert. I think for today, felt like, a lot of chain-moving drives. A lot of times you got, really, the game might have come to a lull and felt like maybe the momentum was going the way Arizona Cardinals. I felt like Dallas Goedert had at least one or two catches that really sucked a lot of the momentum away from the Arizona Cardinals and helped a lot of drives there for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, in a game like today where there's not, I don't think, a consensus, MVP, I want to say the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line would get the game ball from me because the fact that we had dealt with injuries, we had some adversity on the offensive line, and that last drive where it's just we're going to fucking run the ball and we're going to chew up all this clock. That was outstanding. That was the single best piece of work that the Philadelphia Eagles did this game. So, yeah, fuck it. Take it from Dallas Goedert's a part of that, right? He's part of the offensive line. We'll give it to Goedert. We'll pencil him in there. And that's getting my game ball here today. We'll love to hear what you guys think from this victory. What do we got next week? Is Dallas? Sunday night against Dallas. That is going to be a very fun game. A very, very fun game. I think... I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think Dallas' defense is good. As expected, they're good. Offensively, I really do expect Philly to shut that shit down and not let Cooper Rush and those guys beat them. But it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very fun game. And we'll definitely have to do a game preview on that one for sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this victory. I think it's a great victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. Very happy with their performance. And I think it's just character victories. Coming back from Jacksonville when things weren't going our way. This was a gritty victory. We're starting to get the makings of that. I feel like that 2017 team. And I left this question. Is this 2017 Wentz for Jalen Hurts? Like we're embarking on that territory, it feels like, where it's like, at least we can, right now you say, when's the last time Philly had a good quarterback? Oh, remember 2017 Wentz play like MVP. Like, it'll be nice if we could just stop referencing that as like a talking point and we can say 2022 Jalen Hurts, man. Like, 5 years down the line, like, oh man, remember 2022 Jalen Hurts? Is this his year? Let me know about that in the comment section below. But my food's here. I got to go eat. So thank you guys very much for watching. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. This is the best place for Eagles content. Draft content as well. Dropped a mock draft earlier in the week. Go check that out. And I will see you guys back here on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Go Birds!